Hey guys, Thinking here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are jumping into the legendary Goku event with the Space Traveling Warriors team. I think I've pretty much settled on this build as my favourite build of the team. I say Space Traveling Warriors team, but of course using Bojack's secondary leader skill for time travelers, we are running the Demon Goddess Toa on the team. She's very good for support. And of course, she does give us that chance to get the free heal when we drop below 50%, as well as providing another massive buff for the units on that turn, which can lead to some pretty ridiculous numbers overall. So this is my build of the team. We're just going to get straight into things here, and yeah, I'm going to let you know my thoughts on Bojack and the new category overall, because if it hasn't been apparent from the stuff that I've been posting on Twitter, the comments that I've made in like the last couple of videos, I really love this team. After pulling LR Turles, who obviously I really wanted him, like I always quite liked Turles. The card is just insanely busted. I'd already linked level 10 to the AGL one, so I just really wanted this guy, and I finally managed to pull him on like a last ditch 50 stones on his banner, and yeah, happy to say that that's really made my day getting the Bojack now as well, because the reason why I think this team works so well is Space Traveling Warriors is such a good category. Like, it's got so many good units on it, right? Like, I've got the list up here, and obviously there's the big hitters like Turles and Jiren, like two of the most powerful LRs in the game. But then you got units like Baby, who's still pretty good. Obviously the LR Bojack is made better by this team. Full Power Frieza, the new EZA Prime Battle Frieza, even B-Pan's on here, who people like to throw onto teams for like a bit of extra support and stuff. And then yeah, the team is just full of like really solid units overall, and a lot of their good sort of like link partners and units that match up well with them. Obviously God Topo is an insanely good support unit. Physical Beerus is on this category, as well as the Whis as well. There's just a lot of like really top tier units on this team, and some good fun combos that you can make. I guess that it could be seen as one of those teams, like if you don't have some of the top like LRs and stuff, then obviously the team probably isn't going to look as impressive to you as some other ones may do. But to me, I'm really enjoying this team, and one of the main reasons behind it is the fact that Bojack, his leader skill is the full 170 across the board, which I think people are not like really sort of thinking about just how ridiculously good that actually is. So we're going to go ahead and transform the friend Bojack here. I did find a friend with 2 dupes. He's got a whole bunch of additional... I don't think he's leveled up his links that much though. I've been leveling up my one, but he's not super full yet. Yeah, mostly at 4s, a couple of 3s. So that's not too bad. And then obviously LR Bojack, much better nowadays thanks to this team. But yeah, 170 across the board means that we see down below here, we have 526,000 HP. Which is really good, because in a difficult event like this, obviously this isn't going to do much damage here, but when we get up to like STR UI Goku and Int UI Goku, if the wrong unit takes a super attack, like say maybe the Demon Goddess Toa, we could potentially take like 280k, like close to 300k damage off of his super attack. But like that's only like just over half of our HP. Like, we could take that hit in the one turn, and then a lot of the units are going to tank normal attacks for double digits anyway. It's only really the super attack that's going to come in and deal a huge amount of damage. And because our overall pool of HP is so high, then we just don't really run into that risk of getting killed. So, or at least in one turn, right? Because at the end of the day, as long as you survive with the tiniest sliver of health, you can just heal in the next turn. So having a large pool of HP to ensure you don't just get one shot, because again, once we get to the very end against the UI Goku phases, the Demon Goddess Toa is probably going to take close to 50 or 60k from normal attacks, and that's where you start to fall into that danger category, because if she takes a couple of normal hits and a super on a team where you only have a 130 HP leader skill, you could die in that turn, even from full HP. Whereas on this team, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do that, just because you have so much HP overall. And then obviously you're still getting 170 to defense, right? Because a lot of teams, if you have 170 attack and HP, you only have 130 defense. So it is, I think overall, someone worked out the calculations. Like, it does work out better to have the more HP than the slightly higher defense. Because having slightly higher defense, you still take crazy damage from a super attack. So obviously having that bigger pool of HP to fall back on is more useful. But even so, this team just gets rid of that issue by having both 170 for HP and defense. But yeah, as you can see here, I've been leveling my Bojack mostly at 5s. Heraclan is at 7 and Fierce Battle's only at 4. I chose to keep the friend on main rotation and transform him though, just because the friend one actually has 2 dupes, whereas mine doesn't have any. So, but he still performs incredibly well. Double digit damage, of course, with the LR here with type advantage. 4.8 million, pretty decent for him. I don't think I gave him any. Did I give him equips? I don't think so. But yeah, this all Bojack rotation is pretty nice here, because the STR Bojack, his links don't change when he transforms. So you can run him and the untransformed one as a rotation if you don't have the LR. But of course the untransformed Bojack floating in the 3rd spot is a really, really good support unit, because he supports the category regardless of how many enemies you fight. I think I mentioned this in the previous video, but in terms of off rotation, I would say I prefer Bojack to Cooler in like the untransformed unit as a floater, right? Because it doesn't matter how you build your team of the space traveling warriors, like Bojack is going to support them on, you know, regardless of how the rotations change. Whereas if you build your Cooler team with a mix of transformation boost and terrifying conquerors, like for example when we first pulled Turles and we were showing him off in a bunch of videos, if we are only fighting one enemy, then Cooler's not providing any support to Turles because he's not on transformation boost, he's only on terrifying conquerors, part of Cooler's leader skill. So I guess technically the same does apply here, right? So if we bring a time travelers unit, Bojack doesn't give them any support, but the only time travelers unit that we're running, we're using as an off rotation support, so they're never going to be on rotation together anyway. We're getting pretty lucky with these rotations as well. Getting the 18 key supers off for you. We'll give this to you and then these to you. Obviously, once transformed, the STR Bojack does infinitely stack his attack as well. So, Imp Bojack, I think, like I said, underrated, right? Like, he's not hitting like 10 million attack stats or anything on this team, but his defense is still really good. And once you get to Blue Goku, this is where you can start to notice that you are taking a bit more damage. Same with the God Goku as well, really. But we're just casually taking double-digit damage. Obviously, Bojack here infinitely stacking his attack, so his attack stats just going to get higher and higher. We get that crit, and then we get the built-in additional. That is what we like to see. The only downside with this rotation having the Demon Goddess Toa is the LR Bojack doesn't have Fierce Battle, and obviously neither does the Toa. So we really want the untransformed Bojack or God Topo in slot 3 for this double Bojack rotation to really shine, especially for the STR Bojack, because Fierce Battle, even at level 1, like 15% extra attack is obviously quite a big deal. We're starting to get to that point where we can get the active skill for Turles, which I do kind of want to save, but I mean, I guess to be fair, against an AGL enemy, this is probably the best time to use it, right? Because this is where the super effective against all types is going to come in the most handy. So we'll go ahead and pop the active skill here. We've got Bojack on rotation. So what is Turles' defense? So yeah, this my Turles is 55%, by the way. Just to point that out again, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen the previous Turles videos, he has no dupes. So 217,000 defense is pretty ridiculous. All of his links active except legendary power. As you can see, I've been link leveling him. Big Bad Bosses is at 10, which means that will always be active regardless of our HP, which is a huge deal because Big Bad Bosses at level 10 is probably the best link in the game. And so let's go ahead and see what he can get here with the support from the AGL Turles and STR Bojack. Oh, just 6.5 million attack stat. Okay. Just, you know, 6.5 million at 55%. Not full level 10 links either. So doesn't quite finish him off. And then we get the additional 3.5 on his 12 key for the additional super. And of course, thanks to his passive, that will also be super effective against all types. So we finish off Blue Goku. So very, very good. Alright, so let's have a look here. God Topo is a really good choice for this team as well. Now, he does only have Fierce Battle with a lot of the units on the team, but he's pretty good defensively, so it allows him to be a support unit who doesn't just get you killed immediately in the third slot. But we can see here LR Bojack has almost 250k defense. We can't get the 18 key super for him. I think what we'll do is we'll do this. I could have put STR Bojack in slot 1, to be fair. He has 177k defense, but we'll do that because then, yeah, we could have got all these orbs for the LR, but that's fine. And then we'll get the STR orbs for God Topo here so that he can actually super attack. So LR Bojack getting the Dokkan attack. I probably should have put the STR one in the first slot, but it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. I mean, he's still hitting, what, 3.4 million attack stat for his 12 key super? Now, obviously, he's a Rainbow full level 10 Lynx LR. And we just saw Turles hit that on a 12 key super at 55%. So, obviously, Bojack has aged a little bit. But this team definitely is kind of like a new lease of life for him. So, yeah, see here, this is what I'm talking about here, right? So, we took 218k damage from a super. But as you can see, we're still on like 60% HP. So, I think no one else on this team is going to take... Even Topo should just take double-digit damage from normal attacks. I think. I haven't link leveled my Topo, but like post EZA, his defense is really good. So let's see how much damage he actually takes here. And then, of course, if we do drop below 50%, we get the Demon Goddess Toa coming in. Oh, well, okay, he's just going to dodge. So there you go. Oh, and of course, yeah, that was the turn we got the Dokkan attack, so we just get the full heal off here anyway. So, see, I would like to get the full 24 key if we can. But so let's do this. One short. Oh well, we'll save. I want to save the next usage of the active skill for Int UI Goku. So we'll go ahead and do this. We are on full HP now, so again, Demon Goddess Toa, despite being the liability HP wise, shouldn't get us killed in the last spot here. I mean, if UI Goku doesn't dodge LR Tellers, he's just dead now anyway. Yeah, 6.4. Because obviously, remember, Demon Goddess Toa, she does have that chance to provide that little bit of extra support as well. And there's no visual cue to see that that actually went off. But yeah, once you get that in play, that is, you can get some big damage turns. But now we have this double Bojack rotation. So, or sorry, triple Bojack rotation. The double STR Bojack. So the fact that he's getting Fierce Battle now is obviously very good for him. What are our defenses here? 234k, and then yeah, the STR one has 171. I mean, even the untransformed STR one has over 120k defense. Like, that's still really good. So we'll go ahead and grab those for you, those for you, and those for you. So yeah, one of the great things about Bojack, of course, and the team is if you did have LR Jiren, because I don't, we could run LR Jiren and God Topo as a rotation, and then just have both the Bojacks floating as support units, which, again, this is nothing new. This is exactly the kind of thing that you can do with Cooler, but it's just so good for team building. I think it's my favourite blueprint for category leaders to do that, is support the category that they lead, and then transform into a hard-hitting damage dealer who is then no longer a support unit, but because it's done via active skill, you have the choice whether to do it or not. And then that massively helps you out when it comes to team building and building a team the way you actually want to build it, rather than having to be stuck with a leader who you're floating off in the third spot, but then when they float onto the rotation, they don't really do anything. Whereas this Bojack, we choose not to transform him, he floats into the third spot, and he's a 30% support unit when we're facing one enemy. So, very, very good. I mean, you see there the STR Bojack transformed, taking double-digit damage from normal attacks against Int UI Goku. And there you go. Even the untransformed one. So, the untransformed one raises defense when he supers, but only for the one turn. Mine is 55%. And as you saw, not fully link leveled, but there he is, hitting getting hit for double-digit damage, which is just ridiculous. Like, obviously, back in the day when this event came out, there was a lot of units that even normal attacks, they would be getting slapped about by Int UI Goku. So, in fact, what we want to do here, I'm going to go a bit crazy. Now, we could feasibly get the no items run on this stage, right? As long as he doesn't super attack. But if he super attacks this turn, I probably just die, right? So, I think what we will do is we'll just go for a cheeky little Princess Snake. So we'll get the heal as well as a little bit of damage mitigation. And then we should be all good. If he dodges this attack after me saving up the Turles active skill, I'll be very disappointed. Also, watch him not super attack this turn, meaning that we could have just done it with no items. But 6.7 with the support from God Topo. I posted a screenshot on Twitter the other day. It looks like we're not going to get it to go off in this video. But this LR Turles, using his active skill and getting the 24 key, on rotation with Demon Goddess Toa on the turn where we started below 50%, so her extra passive went off, giving that extra 50% buff. He hit a 7.7 million attack stat at 55% and not full level 10 links. Which, I mean, you just think about what that looks like, rainbow full level 10 links. Like, that's going to be, what, 9, maybe 10 million on that turn? Which is a little bit crazy, to say the least. So, Int UI Goku slacking on the dodges here, which I'm not going to complain about. So, we should hopefully finish him off next turn, which makes this a pretty decent run overall for the Legendary Goku event, because some team builds, it can take you forever to get all the way through. So we'll go ahead and do this. Demon Goddess Toa is a little bit of a liability in the third spot there, but I think we should be okay. LR Bojack still taking double-digit damage. What a champion. And then almost 5 mil attack stat. This should do some decent damage here. We get a crit? No crit, 1.5. Hey, we get the additional 12 key though, 3.1. Not too shabby, we'll take those. That connects as well. So STR Bojack, can you finish the job here? 4.38. Very, very good. And yeah, it doesn't dodge. I mean, that's what happens when you infinitely stack attack, I guess, right? So 1.47 takes out Int UI Goku, and there you go. So, like I say, that is my favorite build of this Bojack team. This is probably the team I'm having the most fun running at the moment. Like, I've randomly gone through and just destroyed pretty much every single Infinite Dragon Ball History stage with this team, just because it is a very fun team to run. Bojack is very, very good. I do think his banner is still probably a skip for most people, because Saiyan Day is right around the corner, and with the news that we got today about the same name update, it probably means something hype is coming for Saiyan Day. That is probably a shared name unit. So the hype for Saiyan Day has probably been turned up, if anything else. So it's kind of a catch-22 situation, because if you're free to play and don't spend, it's probably worth skipping Bojack, but he's just so good. So, but there you go. Let me know what you think of Bojack and his team down below. I can't get enough of this team. I absolutely love it. So let me hear your thoughts in the comments section down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for my Discord and the merch store. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.